So we got this welded and kind of like squished into shape. So now we just got to metal finish it and make it pretty, you know, and then do all of our details like a doubled edge and put a reinforcement on the back. We'll probably rivet something and then show kind of how to mount it, you know, and how to space it out.
Looks good.
Yeah. The only problem I see is this is dipping down a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I couldn't tell or not.
So we just have to like try to address that a little bit. This thing's like, it's like leaning this way a little bit. That could just be from the angle it was fed through the machine. I'm not overly concerned with it, but you know, I think it's so slight that once it's on the bike and once we put the edge on it and even it up, and this is all smooth, then I don't think you'll really notice it. But I noticed that they were one's holding it a little higher than the other, and so just that little bit will affect it. But it, you know, and there's no way to correct that unless you have like some kind of like gauge to make sure they both hold it at the exact same, you know, way. God, you guys. I was seeing how close it comes to the chain, if we need to jog that in a little bit. I think we do. The only problem with this, the only thing that bums me out about that whole type of shrinker method is just the surface kills it, you know? Because there's no really way to get that stuff out of there. You could planish it, but it's still gonna leave grooves. And there's no real way to get that out of there except for sanding it, you know, which removing material, which is, it's okay. Yeah, that, except for that very edge, that stuff knocks that right out, except for that extreme, you know, edge, but we're gonna roll most of that away. You guys just wanna remember too, you know, the only way to get something smooth is to use flat surfaces, you know that, right? Like start off with a file. You know, a file will find all your high and low spots. That's pretty straight, other than the surface disruption where it sanded it, you know, where it grabbed it and pulled it in on itself. Pretty straight. You can fill that stuff a little bit. We could file it and get it all out, but I think for that bike, that's presentable, you know? And the more we file it, the thinner the material gets, you know? I actually kind of like seeing that.
Tire stripes.
Yeah, because then then you could tell how, oh, I could look right at it and know how someone made it. Just like that, you know, where you only see you know, where you have a consistent amount of, you know, sand scratches and you're not seeing any of the low spots. You know, I'd stay away from that. You know, you can kiss that lower edge just to dress it, but it's gonna get folded anyway. And sometimes that's what metalwork's about, is like showing some restraint. I mean, you could push so hard and do so much and keep doing these steps and stuff, but sometimes it's like, you gotta realize when enough's enough, you know, when it's done. Use the table so you're digging into the metal and not, because that thing, if this thing's moving, this thing isn't doing,
Yeah,
this needs to be locked down, so that's like working it.
A lot of what inspired me is videos like this. It was like Monster Garage and all those. I was like, I just watched so many of those shows and so many videos as much as possible. I would just go out and like put my own spin on it and try to like learn as much as I could, like actually like doing it instead of watching the things. You just get the ideas from watching them, learn other people's processes, but it's just something inside you that really like makes you really want to do it.
You want me to show you how to get those low spots out?
All dark spots where the sander doesn't hit are basically all low spots. It's kind of like if you Bondo a car, they use different color primer and different color Bondo. So when you sand through, the different colors show you where all the low spots are at. So this, you just see a darker piece of the metal basically. When I lived in California, that was kind of almost one of my dreams. It was like, oh, what if I could get good enough to work at West Coast Choppers or like learn something from him, you know? So it's actually like these videos actually mean a lot to me. It's kind of like, it's pretty much a dream come true. It's like the things I used to watch that like basically inspired me, like now I'm doing, and it's still inspiring me like even more, and hopefully it helps other people go through the same thing.
This is a bullseye pick. So if you have a low spot on metal, you'll put it in this little half circle in the center, and you just pull on it from the bottom side. It'll hit right underneath where your bullseye is. You know, get in there and really dress the metal, you know, put some muscle behind it. Good, it looks good. So doesn't it, like, once you put a finish on something, doesn't it changes your whole perspective on it, you know? So that's where we're gonna end up. We'll scribe the inside of it, but you guys can see. So that's where we're gonna end up. So what we have to do is, we're just gonna go straight along the edge. So what we have to do is turn this edge in so so we end up right where we wanna be. And this is gonna disappear. So this is all you're gonna see. So your rolled edge should complete that radius to that. Cool. So we're ready to roll it. So we'll scribe the inside of this, that 1/2 inch. Let's do this side first. The smoother you can make this line, the smoother that lower edge will be. And then it look cool just like that, that little, and it adds like strength, but. Getting there. Look how much better that looks.
Yeah, it looks good.